I've been having a really difficult couple of weeks with my depression and my loneliness, and with this I've come to find that I've been having a really hard time actually reaching out for help in my darker moments despite being a promoter of it. So I wanted to talk to everyone about how difficult I found it to reach out for help and how I'm trying to work on that, because I do believe it is an important thing to do when you're struggling.
An idea.
An escape.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Hello, Becca here from ALifeLearned, and today I want to talk to everyone about how I've been struggling really hard with my depression and loneliness, and with that, come to find it really difficult to reach out to others and try and get help when I actually need it. The last couple months have actually been my first period of really being alone and not in a relationship, and also not working or going to school since I got out of my abusive relationship. So it's sort of been my first experience of a lot of true loneliness, and it's pushed my depression pretty far, to the point that I've actually experienced some suicidal thoughts for the first time in a while. And so of course that's not been fun. And with that, of course, that indicates that I've been in some pretty dark and low spots, at which point it would make sense to reach out to others and those that have said that they're there for me when I need to talk. And I do feel that I've been rather fortunate. I do have a number of people who have said this, who have said to me, if you need someone to talk to, if you're struggling, you can call me, you can text me, you can talk to me, you can message me. But despite that, in these times, I haven't really felt that any of these people were the right person or were what I was looking for to speak with at the time. And one of the things I've really come to find with that is I often don't want to impose my darkness on others and my pain on others. And once I really start to care about a person, I fear that I'm just going to be spreading that darkness and pain to them by reaching out to them for help. Because of course, in sharing with them that I'm going through it, they do have to, in some sense, experience it and know that it's happening. But at the same time, it's advised that you only reach out to those who are able to offer help, those who are emotionally stable and in an okay position to offer that help. And so in that sense, it shouldn't be a consideration that you're imposing your darkness on others, because you should only be reaching to people who are emotionally stable enough that even though they do experience it to some degree and they do learn about it occurring because you're sharing it with them, it doesn't necessarily impose it on them because they have proper emotional boundaries, basically. This can sometimes be really hard to find. An emotionally stable person who won't be affected by your darkness is not necessarily common, and sometimes just having someone to help is a big deal. But it can generally just be more beneficial if you can reach out to someone who is stable and okay in their current state, because that allows them to be more able to help. But in that sense, also, sometimes it's just that people are too close to me, they're too intimate or intertwined with whatever is going on with me or happening in my life. I don't want them to judge, I don't want them to base anything they're saying off of other things they know. And so in that sense, it's nicer to have a more distant person to talk to, though at the same time then they don't understand you, and so you're in this, it never seems to be the right person. But at the same time, I do realize that I'm in a fortunate position of having more than one person to reach out to. And not everyone is that lucky. A lot of people don't have that many friends or people that have said to them, you can talk to me if you need. But most everyone has family, and in that sense, family does care. So do try to reach out to them. But if that isn't a source of support for you, or if it's just not quite what you need in that position, there are also people on the internet as well who do actually care, myself being one of them. I'm a mental health YouTuber, and there are other mental health YouTubers who are here because we do care that others are suffering in the world, and though we're at a distance, we do want to offer whatever support or help that we can, even if it's just being there to listen to the fact that you're suffering. Just knowing that someone cares that you're in pain is a big deal. It makes a huge difference. Because in the end, it's all about human interaction. One of the biggest differences between now and my past experience of being single is that I was in school and working, and so I had a lot of situations kind of forced on me where I was interacting with people, and I also just happened upon situations of interacting with my friends, and this just made my depression a very different thing. I still dealt with it then, but it was a lot less heavy and a lot less based on just being lonely and not interacting with other people. And so in that sense, human interaction is key. It's very important for good mental health and for good mental stability, and that's why it's always good to reach out when you need help, because the idea is that you're getting that human interaction, and everyone needs that. So yeah, if you really feel that you don't have that many people to reach out for help, feel free to message me, and there's plenty of other mental health YouTubers you can probably message as well, and even people on Reddit and other websites. There are people who genuinely care that others are suffering, and we want to be there for you to be able to talk to and to feel that you're not alone in this suffering. A lot of us go through this darkness. A lot of us feel various different types of pain, but pain is pain in the end. It's not a good experience, and you should not have to go through it alone. It has been really hard for me in the last couple weeks, especially with feeling that I can't reach out to other people, that I'm imposing on them or bringing them into my darkness by asking them for help. But that isn't true, and so that is something I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to remember that those who offer generally offer because they feel able to talk to you about these things and because they care that you're suffering. No one should have to go through such pain alone, and no one wants you to be suffering alone. I'm sure that's a true thing. So if you can, do reach out. And if you don't feel like you can, maybe try to start writing things down about what you feel like you need to talk about, and that might work you into being able to talk to others. Or even writing blog posts on places like Reddit can really help, because you're not talking to a specific person, but people who comment on it clearly are people who care, because they've taken the time to read your post and then taken time to comment on it and offer advice. So in the end, my main point is I've really faced the struggle of reaching out for help, despite having people to reach out to. But I also understand if you don't have people to reach out to either. But it's still important to do it. It's really important for your mental health to ask for help when you need it, because those who don't ask for help are the ones who sadly succumb to the suicidal thoughts, and that just causes so much more pain in the world. No one wants that. We really do want you to be okay, to feel okay, and to not be suffering like you are. So it really is a good idea that you ask for help. And with that, do, again, feel free to message me if you do feel like there's anything I could do at all, even in just discussing with you how you're feeling and caring in the fact that you're suffering. And if you have any experiences that you might like to share about how you've had a hard time reaching out when you were suffering and how you got over that, please do share that below. Or if you're even just still suffering now and having a hard time reaching out, feel free to comment below about that. The whole idea here is to just remind everyone who needs help that it is okay to ask for help. I've been struggling with it, and I get that it is a huge struggle, but at the same time, it is a very, very important thing for your mental health to always make sure to seek help when you need it. So anyway, I hope this video helped you feel a little less alone in your suffering and a little more able to ask for help when you need it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and please join me again next week where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.